In the modern threat landscape, identity is the primary perimeter. When a user logs in, how do we know their credentials are secure? A user enters their email and password and is prompted for a security code. This second factor blocks over 99% of identity attacks, but forcing multi-factor authentication on every sign-in disrupts productivity. Admins need a smart way to enforce MFA only when necessary. That's where Microsoft Entra Conditional Access comes in. Conditional Access is Microsoft's policy engine. Think of it as a dynamic if-then statement. If a user accesses a resource, then they must complete specific requirements. For example, if an employee signs in from an untrusted network, then they must provide multi-factor authentication. We manage this in the Entra Admin Center under Entra ID and Conditional Access. Let's build a policy following Microsoft Learn guidance. Conditional Access requires Microsoft Entra ID P1 or P2 licenses. If your organization has free or basic licenses, you cannot use these policies. Instead, your fallback is security defaults. This is an all-or-nothing setting requiring multi-factor authentication for everyone, without customization or exclusions. With P1 or P2 licenses, conditional access is preferred as it offers granular, flexible control. Do not use both together. Let's create a policy to require multi-factor authentication for Microsoft 365 apps. In the Conditional Access Policies menu, we click New Policy. We start by naming it CA Elusis M365, Require MFA. Under Assignments, we select Users and choose All Users to ensure every identity is covered by this safety net by default. But never lock yourself out. If there is an outage or service disruption, admins must still access the portal. Under the Exclude tab, we select our emergency access, or break glass, accounts. We also exclude critical service accounts. Excluding emergency accounts is a best practice that prevents total lockout, ensuring you can always manage your tenant in a crisis. Next, under Target Resources, we select Cloud Apps and choose Microsoft 365 apps to cover core collaboration tools. Then, we configure access controls. Under Grant, we select Grant Access and check Require Multi-Factor Authentication. This tells the engine, if anyone accesses these Microsoft 365 apps, they must pass MFA. Before enabling a policy, we must understand its impact. Enabling a policy blindly can disrupt business operations and cause lockouts. Under Enable Policy, we set the state to report only. This runs the policy in the background, evaluating sign-ins and recording results and logs without enforcing the multi-factor authentication block. We can then gather real data before going live. To validate our policy, we use the What If tool. Located at the top of the screen, What If lets us simulate sign-in scenarios. We select a test user, Sarah Jenkins, and select Microsoft 365 apps as the target app. When we click What If, Entra ID runs the simulation. In the results, we see our policy under Policies that will apply. This confirms our policy evaluates correctly. Next, we test our break glass exclusion. We run the What If tool again, selecting our Emergency Administrator account. As expected, the policy now appears under Policies that will not apply due to the exclusion. With our simulations verified, we can safely return to the policy editor, switch the state from report only to on, and save. By deploying in report only mode, excluding break glass accounts, and validating with What If, we secure our tenant without risk. This workflow is the standard for identity governance. Conditional Access plus MFA is one of the most important identity security controls in Microsoft Entra. Master this tool to protect your organization. Thank you for watching, and stay secure.